Everyone notices him, but no one can quite explain him. He's not the loudest, not the most dominant, not even the most visible. Yet somehow, he shifts the energy of every room he walks into. People try to label him shy, arrogant, antisocial, but none of those stick, because he's not trying to be anything, he just is, and that alone breaks every rule most people live by. Welcome back to Alpha Man Cave, where we break down the mind of the Sigma male and the mindset of true independence. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, because what you're about to hear, no one else will tell you. Now, here are 7 reasons why Sigma males always act differently, and why it quietly shakes people more than they'd ever admit. 1. They don't escalate, they exit. Most people need to react. They defend their name, protect their pride. They argue just to prove they're not weak. But Sigma males? They pause, and they walk away, not to be dramatic, not to make a scene, but because they see the hidden cost of pointless conflict. Escalation drains energy. It hijacks focus. It's rarely about truth, and almost always about ego. So when someone tries to pick a fight, the Sigma doesn't play along. He leaves the bait on the table, untouched. And that's what unsettles people. They expect a reaction, but all they get is calm disinterest. And that silence, it's louder than any outburst. 2. They're hard to impress and impossible to control. Most people adjust their behavior for praise or approval. They respond to compliments, obey authority, follow the crowd. But Sigma males? Compliments don't move them. Power doesn't scare them. You can't bait them with clout. You can't push them with guilt, because they've already detached from the game you're trying to play. That makes them dangerous to any system built on control. They don't resist out of rebellion. They just don't care about the rules everyone else follows blindly. 3. They don't ask for trust. They test for truth. Most people give trust quickly. A few kind words, a little charm, and trust is handed over like candy. Not the Sigma. He doesn't ask if he can trust you. He just watches. He watches your patterns. Do your actions match your words? Do you treat people the same when no one's watching? There are no traps, no tricks, just quiet observation. And if something feels off, he won't confront you. He'll just disappear. Because misplaced trust isn't just disappointing, it's draining. And energy? That's not something a Sigma gives away for free. 4. They don't fear being misunderstood. They expect it. Most people explain themselves to death. They want to be liked. They want to be understood. They fear rejection. Sigma males don't. They expect to be misunderstood, and they've made peace with it. They know their silence makes people uncomfortable. Their boundaries get mistaken for arrogance. Their calm is seen as cold. But they won't explain it, because the right people get it. And the rest weren't really listening anyway. They don't dilute themselves just to fit someone's comfort zone. They own their story, even if it's read wrong. And that quiet confidence? It's unforgettable. 5. They don't need to win arguments. They need to make sense. Most people argue to be right. They talk louder, repeat themselves. They stop listening. Sigma males don't argue to dominate. They argue to understand, or correct flawed logic. If the conversation turns emotional or circular, they leave it. not out of disrespect, but because the argument already ended in their mind. They won't fight to win. They'll speak the truth, and let the facts stand alone, because to a Sigma, logic is peace, and ego is chaos. 6. They don't prove their value, they protect it. Today's world tells you, show your worth, explain yourself, stay visible. But Sigma males? They don't perform their confidence. They don't advertise their growth. They protect their value like a vault, not out of secrecy, but intention. They're selective about who gets access to their mind, their time, and their energy. Not everyone deserves to see behind the curtain. They don't hustle for validation. They already know who they are. 7. They're not rebels, they're rewired. Most people are taught to fit in, adjust, and follow the script. School, work, society. It's all about learning the system, climbing the ladder, and keeping up with what everyone else is doing. But the Sigma male never felt comfortable in that mold. Not because he's rebellious, but because he was never designed to live by someone else's template. Sigma males don't adapt to the world in the traditional sense. They observe it, analyze it, and then choose which parts are worth engaging with. And more often than not, they carve out their own lane, quietly but powerfully. He's not the guy who fights the system to prove a point. He's the one who walks away from it altogether, then shows up later with results no one saw coming, results built on his own terms. And that's what throws people off. The Sigma doesn't follow trends, he doesn't chase influence, and he doesn't adjust his dreams to fit societal expectations. Instead, he builds a framework that fits his values, his pace, and his principles, even if it means walking alone. You won't find him trying to blend in. You'll find him crafting a life so authentic that fitting in becomes irrelevant. He doesn't need to be understood or applauded. He just needs to be free. Free to think, to create, and to live outside the box everyone else is trying to fit into. And that's why Sigma males act so differently. Because they're not reacting to the world. They're redefining it, silently, powerfully, and completely on their own terms. So why do Sigma males always act differently? Because they were never meant to act like everyone else. In a world full of noise, they choose silence. In a world full of followers, they walk alone. And in a world obsessed with fitting in, they never even tried. If this resonated with you, smash that like button and subscribe to Alpha Man Cave for more raw Sigma truths. Because in a world full of copies, you were born to be original.